So we watched Swallow, and this is where did we rented? No, this is on something. We rented this, yeah.
Yes, we rented it.
So this is an LGBT horror film, which I've seen. I saw Hellbent, and then there's another one that I am not remembering at the moment, but they don't make many. There's not a... Oh, there's another one that's like a party. They go back to a house. Bunch of guys, you know. God, fuck, I can't remember the name of that movie. But they don't make like gay-centric horror movies. Almost ever. Right? So this was kind of unique in that way.
Sure.
And this is about two friends. One of them is about to leave town. He is going to be a gay porn star. And his straight friend clearly has a thing for him. And I'm not really honestly sure how this has been hidden. Because he's like all about him the entire film. It never seems like a secret.
I know.
Okay. I thought they were both gay the entire film. And until the guy was like, but you're straight. And he's like, well, whatever. I don't want to give spoilers, but like, I just want to say up front, like, you're the other guy, the one that's not going off to be the porn star, is supposed to be straight.
Yeah.
But they're at like a gay bar together because I'm guessing he's there for his friend. But I was like 100% this guy was gay the whole movie until he was like, but you're straight. And I was like, wait, what? I'm completely confused now. But it's supposed to be a secret that he's gay, not gay, and that he like has this secret crush on him. But it's like so obvious from frame one of the movie that I'm like, how did you not know this? And why would I ever think this guy was straight?
Well, I don't know about
I don't care. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, I definitely thought that he was into him. I think that's very obvious from the beginning. I think his, like, sexuality, you just assume that he's gay.
I just thought they were friends who decided not to hook up because they're buddies. I never thought for a second he was straight.
I don't know what I thought. I wasn't really thinking about like if he
was
gay or straight, but
it doesn't matter. I just want to point that out for anyone who watches the movie. Did you get that feel like I did when I was watching? Because they are at a gay bar, and he's super into him, and
he is really
and I'm
into
like,
him,
why would I not think this guy's gay? It doesn't matter. Moving on. So the friend, in this attempt to try to help out his friend, the one that's going to move away, he goes to mule drugs across the border, which he has to swallow. And these aren't any normal average drugs put into these condoms or whatever the hell they are. And Jenna Malone is the actress who plays this drug runner, like middleman.
Yeah.
And he's forced to take them because he wants to back out of the deal. And he then is given them, and the other one, the friend that's going to move away, he's also given one. And for insurance or time constraints or whatever. And they get him across the border, and then they are accosted by a homophobic redneck. And because of this, the drugs are let loose into one of their systems. And we find out that the drugs are not the normal kinds of drugs that people take.
Not normal.
And that sounds like a long explanation for the movie, but that's the setup. I don't know how else to say it any shorter. I probably couldn't have went on that like is he gay rant. That would have sped things up quite a bit. I'm just saying, when you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was so confused for a minute. Moving on. This has Mark Patton in it. This is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to watch this movie. I'm a huge Nightmare on Elm Street 2 fan. To see Mark Patton here, and, you know, also the fact that Mark Patton was recently in a Mexican hospital, potentially dying from HIV or AIDS related, complications. I had posted on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, like, hey, I'm donating money to this fund to try to get him the proper medicine because this guy got a raw deal, right? He was like shunned from Hollywood after everyone hated Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then the dude gets HIV and like moves to freaking Mexico. It's a sad story. If you watch Scream Queen and all that stuff, it's like, fuck. So when I saw that he was like dying, I had to throw him some money and I had to let everyone know, like, this guy. So it was good to see him here.
Yes.
I don't know how he's doing now, but in the movie he looked good. I mean, he's older, obviously, but he seemed healthy, he seemed fine. What'd you think of the movie?
I really liked this movie. I thought it has a great concept. I was definitely like when we find out what's going on, like the twist, it was really disturbing for me. It's a very like body horror, I guess, is like the first thing that I would describe it as. And I don't know, I really liked it. I liked the acting from everybody. I thought everyone's performances were really great, and it was really intense. It was an intense movie, like the whole time. I guess that's the best way for me to describe it, is intense.
Yeah. I'm okay with the film. My big gripe with the film is something you alluded to, and that is this body horror concept. This is not utilized almost at all to me. Like, this could have been, honestly, any drug. This could have been cocaine or heroin or whatever, and it would have pretty much been the exact same film. There's only a very low level for me of extra added like horror to what we find out it actually is, but the effect is all the same. It's still this thing in your body that can kill you, and so it's scary because what do you do when it's in your body, it's coursing through your veins, or it's in your digestive tract or whatever, and you can't get it out. It's the same. We're getting to the same place. And so I would have liked to have seen this have more of a devastating effect on your body other than writhing pain, and that's really it. That's my big gripe with the film, is if you're going to make it what it is, expand upon that greatly and really lay into that side of the horror, because otherwise it's just like kind of, I don't know, super underutilized. It's just this gimmick thing that doesn't really go anywhere.
For me, I see what you're saying, but the concept alone, like just what it is enough to give me the heebie-jeebies.
Sure.
But I totally understand what you're saying, and I don't know if that's like a budget restriction in some way that maybe it would have been, but I don't know, there's some stuff in here that makes me think that it could have been possible to show more of what you're describing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't know, the ending and how all this transpired, it does become pretty repetitious. There is something that one of them is required to do to the other one to secure the drugs. And this just goes on for like a long time. It reoccurs 3-4 different times for probably 20 plus minutes of the movie accumulatively. And it's like, I get it. I mean, we're there again. Couldn't we just get them all in one? Right? Or like all but one in one. We don't have to do it each time over and over and over, because it just drags the runtime. And we're just being redundant at that point. For me, it added for like the uncomfortableness. But that time would have been better utilized by including new body horror elements to what is happening to this person's body. Yeah. And it's upping the level of tension. It's upping the level of like confusion and fear and, oh my God, this is in me too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is going to happen to me too.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we get is pain.
Yes.
Right? And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
If you got more than that, if you got a metamorphosis of sorts happening, if you had something where it's like, oh shit, we're going to talk spoilers really quick because I can't tiptoe around this shit anymore. So if you haven't seen the movie, shut it off. But like, if this thing is inside of him, right? This little bug, this little worm, this little fucking whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I hate it.
Right? Like, in its full form, when it attaches itself to you, right? It's supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to extract its venom or whatever to get the drug. But if the whole thing is inside of you and that thing bites you, then that's what can then alter. That's too much, right? It like, especially baby ones, kind of like baby snakes, right? Baby snakes are known for killing people more than adult snakes because baby snakes aren't in control of their venom at that age. So they're more venomous. They release too much venom when they bite into animals. And so if you had these like baby little things in there, and you could even explain it like that, where the venom or the toxin, because this thing could act like Aylmer from brain damage, right? Where it's releasing way too much, and it fries his brain, right? And so these changes start to happen in his body, and his like dick starts to fall off, right? Because it gets so hard. It could have exploded.
Yeah, I did think that was going to start happening.
Fucking, you know, he could have started like, you know, ejaculating blood. Like we see a lot. That's another thing we didn't mention in here. This is the most full frontal male nudity I've seen in a film in a long time. And we see a hard ass dick.
Really hard.
And I don't know if
great. I'm so happy that we
is that his real dick? Because this dude is fucking like really packing heat. That thing was massive. Big dick
for sure. But I like love that we got that because, I mean, we just don't. We never get enough male nudity.
Sure.
But, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think that there could have been more body horror. I just, like, the fact that they were just, like, live, like, bugs inside of him, inside his, like, butt needing to be pulled out, like, all of that to me. But I get it. Like, that's mostly just my own, like, phobia kind of a thing. Like, I don't like parasites, and especially if they're, like, you know, which I guess they are inside you by nature of the...
But here's the thing. We already know that one of them has burst inside of him. So what's the difference between 1 and 10? Like, there's no stakes to it. Once he's punched and he starts to feel the pain, you know one of them is ruptured.
Yeah.
Then when it's revealed what the thing is, when he poops it out right in the bathroom and it's moving around, they know that it's something alive.
Yeah.
And so from that point, you're just being repetitious because all you're adding to this element now is that he's in pain. That's all that happens to him until he dies. So outside of his heart-on, which is just more pain, right? Maybe some shame, I don't know. But regardless, it's just pain. Now, don't get me wrong. It's awful. And I'm not even for 1 second saying this is an awful death and he deserves worse or anything. No, of course not. It's horrible. But if you're going to add to the horror element, you need to up the ante. You need to strike fear into the guy who's putting his fist up this guy's ass the whole time and pulling things loose, right? And every time he pulls one loose, you have an opportunity to up the game. Something else comes out with it. Something else is retrieved. Something then it's bigger, or you know, something is evolved in it. Something is changing in him. Something is happening to him. But just to have him be the mule who gets punched in the gut, then he's in pain, he dies. Yeah. The guy's sticking his hand up his ass, he's pulling out one thing, it looks the same. It looks like a Tide Pod that's been barely used. Then he throws it aside. Another Tide Pod barely used. Another Tide Pod barely used. And it's 20 minutes of Tide Pods that has nothing raising the stakes. Nothing evolving the horror.
Yeah.
Right? So this is where I was just kind of like, okay.
I totally get it.
Let's pull out another one. Nope, there it is again. There's nothing happening here. From the moment on one, he gets a hard-on. He's in pain in the stomach. That retains throughout the rest of his life. Then he dies. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I agree with you. I like this.
And at no point, and here's another thing, there's never a point where they like even put it in the like fear that his maybe broke, or maybe
Right.
his was going to be attacked.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't get this shit out of him, I'm going to burst the one inside of you. I'm going to attack you with the same venom.
Sure.
I'm going to do whatever. Or if he has some stomach pains or something, anything to elude maybe
Yeah.
the same thing. Because the fear should be, not only is your friend dying, and then you realize he's in love with you, and maybe you were in love with him and all that. That's terrible. But to elevate that, you have this opportunity to where we're in the same predicament. You swallowed the same shit I swallowed. But at no point during this movie did I ever, one single time have any fear that this thing is going to break inside of him too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tension is never ramped up to where he's looking at like, oh shit, this one broke free. How much longer? And he's never trying to get it out of him. He never sees the thing and is like, oh my God, this is inside of me too. I need to get this out. There's no rush to get it out of him.
Sure.
He's only like sticking his hand up his friend's ass. You know, he's pulling him out, and he's never worried about himself at all. He doesn't ever seem to like even hint at like, oh fuck, there's one of these in me too. He just shits it out at the end of the movie and is like, oh, okay, and throws it aside and then kills the guy.
Yeah.
It's like, why even put it in him?
Yeah.
Why does he even have it in him in the movie? You see what I'm saying?
I do.
You're not taking your concept and running with it. You're making, and this is why I'm saying it could have been heroin. It could have burst inside of him. It only evolves it as a horror element because it's a little thing, and it plays on your fears of like having a parasite inside of you. But other than that, it's no different than if a cocaine ruptured inside of him and he's in a bunch of agony. It gave him a hard on. Let's say it was ecstasy or whatever the fuck, and it gave him a hard on, and he's sitting there and he's in agony, and then he dies. It's the same fucking thing. You're just getting that very mild like addition. Anyway, I'm done. I'm sorry. I got very passionate about that, but like, I think this movie could have been super rad. It could have been like a very Cronenberg-esque David or Brandon, and it never went there. It just remained a very basic concept that like the little guys inside of them were like almost an afterthought. So anyway, sorry. I talked way too much there, and I apologize.
That's okay.
Anything more?
No, I don't think so.
You're right, though. The performances are good.
Yeah.
I think it's an okay movie. Mark Patton, great to see, and I really just think that this could have been so much better. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it more than I did.
Yeah.
But do you at least see where I'm coming from?
I was trying to tell you I agree with you, and like I see what you're saying the whole time. You make good points, yeah.
I know, but I always have that thing where I want to like explain every reason why I think it doesn't work and why I think this could have worked better.
Yeah.
Because too many reviewers are always just like, this sucks, the end. And it's like, no. Yeah. Elaborate and fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, right? No, I think you nailed it with like what it could have improved the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good effort.
Yeah.
And that's that.
That's that.
Body horror. When you're playing with body horror, you gotta really take that shit to the next level. You know, watch Cronenberg. Watch all of his filmography. Watch his son's filmography. Watch fucking Society. Watch these movies that really amp it to 12.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna go body horror, go body horror.
That's very true.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, moving on. Bye.
Bye.